BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. Hey, it's Drive Safe Dave here, and I want to remind everybody right now that summer's here and the heat is on. I want everybody to understand that as we progress into this summer, it seems to be increasingly hotter than most summers in the past, and I want to make sure everybody understands a little bit about heat exhaustion, heat stroke, and how important those signs and symptoms can be and what happens when those things occur. And those can be, and should be taken seriously at all times. Symptoms of heat stroke and symptoms of heat exhaustion are fatigue, sweaty, oversweating, or undersweating, heartbeat erratic, or too heavy, or pulse weak. I'm just saying, when conditions are right and you're out there in the heat of the day and you're doing things that it doesn't matter if you do them a million times or if you've done them only a few times, you can be negatively impacted by the heat as it increases throughout the summer. So I'm just going to recommend a few things. Number one, hydrate often. I know you hear that from everybody, but it is very, very true. Make sure you get plenty of fluids, and not only for yourselves, but those around you. Make sure they have fluids. Make sure you get fluids. I can tell you, if you're up there on a step deck or a flatbed, you're throwing tarps, pulling chain, or binding down those straps, it can be very, very hot, and those black tarps will soak up that sun. And it doesn't matter if you're on a bed or you're out there on the blacktop or you're at the house working out in the yard. It's very important you recognize what's going on with your body. Number two, rest often. Make sure, if it's in the heat of the day, make sure you find moments to take breaks. Make sure you find ways to cool off. Go stand under the tree, because guess what? It makes a difference. Go stand in the shade for a minute and cool off and have something to drink, but get out of the sun. Find a way to cool off, to rest your body from that exertion of that heat. Number three, be honest with yourself. I'll tell you right now, that's probably the most difficult thing that you have to do. Be honest. It's not, oh, okay, I'll get to it in a minute. Oh, yeah, I'm sweating, I'll be fine. Oh, yeah, I've done this a million times before. I've run a post hole digger. Let me tell you, those things will get to you. It doesn't matter how old you are or how young you are. Pay attention to what's going on with your own body and understand that it sends you the right signals. All right? Be honest with those signals. Be honest with yourself. That's probably one of the hardest things to do. And do something about it. All right? When you get the right signals, do something about it and cool off. And I'm going to give you one more final tip, and that's watch out for others. Make sure that you pay attention to the people around you. If you're responsible for them, if you're responsible for the yard, if you're responsible for kids at play, if you're responsible for people out there or not responsible for people, pay attention to their symptoms, their signs, their indications that they may be suffering from heat. Because the summer is here and it's going to affect all of us. And I want everybody to be safe, both at work and at play, when it comes to the heat. Make sure you get hydrated, drink fluids, and do what you can out there and stay cool. All right, we're coming. We'll be right back with BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. All right, and we are back to BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. Drive Safe Dave here. I got Double Check Dale in here early. Sir Rick has got a lot going on, but I brought Double Check in a little bit early to hang out, do the morning talk, got to get the groove on. How you doing?
I am doing good this morning, man. It is hot out there. It seems like the humidity kicked up a little bit overnight too. It's just
I'm telling you, what did we do wrong? Because I feel like we're getting punished early.
It is. I mean, the winds go down a little bit, but the heat and the humidity picks up. I mean, typically, I think of Texas as being dry heat. It's still hot, but it gets worse with the humidity.
Oh,
so
God.
going, man,
it's like,
oh,
I think I had to cut through it with a knife today to get to the car. But I will tell you, it's going to be a long way to August. I mean, we're not even there yet. We're not even hot yet. We're not, I don't even know. How many 100 days have we already had here in the Dallas-Fort Worth area? We've had several, right?
Several, and it's quite a few more. And I mean, there's just no rain in the forecast for us the next 10 days. I looked out there, and there's just no rain for us, and so it's just going to be hot and dry. I mean, it's
I don't know what's going on, and I don't know. Somebody needs to do I'm thinking rain dance. I'm thinking next week we schedule a rain dance. I'm all in. I'm willing to do it here on the show. I'm thinking that we need to call in. Huh?
I'll go for it.
Are you good? I'm thinking a rain dance is going to help us out. Boyd, what do you got going on over there, man? Are you suffering from the heat at all? Are you getting in your car and it's just sticky and hot yet?
Yeah, it's pretty brutal, and I have black seats, so it's not very fun when I get in the car. It kind of cooks my legs, and I was just looking at my weather app, and it's saying, I guess, it's supposed to be in the hundreds 9 of the next 10 days. So,
yeah. That's encouraging.
Brutal.
Yeah, that's right.
Nice, right? No 99. We're just going to hit triple digits. You know, and typically July is the hottest month.
Yeah. I was going to say we still have July.
We ain't even got there yet. And August, we're just done with it, and it just seems to linger into like November.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I'm sweating just talking about it.
You know what? I'll tell you what. If you got a little bit too much up there in the north and you're feeling like you haven't got enough sun, guess what? We got some for you right here.
But I'm telling you, that heat's going way up north already. I mean, Chicago had heat advisory yesterday. I mean, high 90s. St. Paul was 95 yesterday. I mean, that's a long ways north for 90s. So
it's impacting everyone different.
It is affecting everyone. So, great tips when we started out the show this morning. So,
I think it's important. I think it's important that we recognize the dangers in each other. It's okay, and be honest with ourselves, right? And understand that we are completely responsible for our own health and safety no matter what we're doing. But it's okay to look out for everyone else around you. And even when you're playing, right? Or even when you're doing stuff around, the house.
Yeah.
Because that always gets me, right? I get outside, I start doing something, and I'm only 10 feet away from going into cooling off, but I got to get this done. My wife needs this done.
Yeah. 5-minute break, would have just, ruined the whole thing. Yeah, I get you, Dave. It's like I said, and you just have to recognize it. I think that, and like I said, recognize and be so honest with yourself. When I was younger, I had heat exhaustion. I was unloading some livestock, and I really wasn't even paying attention how hot I was getting.
Absolutely.
Walked out of the trailer and just about collapsed. Luckily, the people I was working with recognized it, got me in the shade, laid you down, got the cool water, some cool rags and compresses. Without them, it's hard to say what would have happened.
I know,
but you got to recognize it, and you got to take action.
Absolutely, and you know what? If some of these symptoms, if vomiting occurs and you're not able to stop when you cool off, man, you need to call medical attention.
Yeah.
I mean, need to get somebody over there. I'm just saying it's very real. And I got a feeling there are going to be people negatively impacted this summer because of the amount of heat that we have, not recognizing what's going on. And I just want everybody aware, just like I did when I brought it up at the beginning of the show. I think it's important that we're honest with one another and we're honest with ourselves. I'll tell you, that's the person I lie to the most is me.
Yeah.
I'm fine. I'm not that hungry. Yeah. Or I don't need one more cocktail. I'm good. No. Yeah, okay.
Do not pass Dave.
do not pass Dave. I'll tell you what, we've got we've got a good show. Have you seen any? I haven't really talked to you about the news today, but I want to tell you a little bit about some of the news articles that were today. Number one, I would talk about flying cars. I think this leads into the next one. You've heard, we've talked about it, but you've seen the Jetsons.
I grew up with the Jetsons, yes.
Okay.
That's
so it was a big deal, but these are actual cars that kind of look like the Jetsons cars. And there are so many companies scrambling to create these drone cars that will take off, pick you up, take you somewhere, and bring you back. All you got to do is get in. You don't have to do it, and they just fly above the surface. It's just like George Jetson. You go to work. You know what he did at work all day, right?
Yeah.
That's basically rockets.
Yeah.
What did he do?
It was gears or something.
No, he pushed a button. That's what he had to do.
I thought that was Homer.
No.
I thought that was
he
Homer
would come
Simpson.
in. You didn't see him. He'd come in and go, "Oh, I had worked so hard today. My fingers all wore out. You just don't have any idea how hard I work at work. I had to push a button all day."
I thought that was Homer. That was, only had to push that button.
But good stuff. So those cars, I tell you what, would you get one?
Yeah,
You would?
why not?
Okay, I'm just saying.
I mean, yeah, I would. I mean, I'd feel safer than that than on the roadway some days. There's no doubt about that.
I'm wondering when they get me a flying F-150. I'm I think I'm ready. When they get me an F-150 truck flying, then we'll talk about it, right?
Yeah, well, I mean, there's electric F-150, so the flying one.
I know it's not far behind.
Away, right?
And this leads into the next article I read. It was about ETs. So some astronomers say, you know what? We haven't seen any extraterrestrial life, and it may be because they've been replaced by robots.
Okay.
So I don't know if Isaac Asimov wrote this or Frank Herbert wrote. Boy, I asked you earlier. You don't know who either one of those are, do you?
Zero clue.
Have you heard of Dune?
Oh, yeah, I've heard of Dune.
Okay, well, Frank Herbert wrote that series.
Oh, okay, gotcha.
Okay, and then Asimov, yeah, good series, good books. And then like Asimov, he wrote Foundation trilogy, or you know what that is, or I believe he wrote 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Okay, I've definitely I've been wanting to watch that movie for a while, but I've heard it's pretty good.
Yeah, pretty intense. Yeah, I mean, I'm just saying there are, there are some science fiction writers that love the idea that astronomers are saying that robots have taken over a society in far-reaching galaxy. I'm sure they're going to have plenty of room to do that.
I mean, that's quite a story right there. I can't even think that up. I guess that's why I don't write science fiction.
I read science fiction.
Yeah.
I'll read science fiction.
Y'all ever seen Interstellar, the Matthew McConaughey movie?
The what one?
Interstellar.
Yeah, of course.
Love that movie. I just rewatched it a couple weeks ago, and it's just as good the third or fourth time through.
Oh yeah.
So
you
good.
maybe miss something. I'm always in for a good sci-fi book. I'm always in for. I grew up. I love Jules Verne. I read Jules Verne. He wrote The Time Machine. He wrote some other great books that did that. And I'll tell you, Frank. What was another one? Edgar Rice Burroughs, who created Tarzan. He also wrote John Carter of Mars. I don't know if you ever seen John Carter of Mars,
I've not seen that one.
the movie.
Yeah, the Disney movie, right?
Yeah, that was
I've
actually
seen that.
written by John Carter. He actually wrote Tarzan too. He actually wrote the books Tarzan. He created Tarzan. He wrote Edgar Rice Burroughs. So anyway, the interesting stuff. I'll tell you, I'm not. You know what? I do believe there might be life out there. I do believe there might. I just think it's so far away. Bring me some evidence.
Yeah, I mean, given how big the universe is.
There's so many galaxies that are so far away.
Yeah.
I mean, galaxies, not solar systems, not
A planet.
okay. I'm talking about galaxies like the Milky Way, I'm talking about other ones. Millions of them so far away you can't. They're millions of years before their light gets here. Okay, so that's a long phone call. I'm not paying those charges. I'm not paying those charges.
I don't know if you saw there's a new game coming out, Dave, knowing you're a gamer. They promoted it the other day, but it's some space game, and there's over 1,000 planets to explore and go around and do all this crazy stuff.
I'm talking about it. Look, let me tell you the secret to my game enjoyment, Boyd, and I'm just going to be honest. I have to be able to kill monsters and save the world.
That's all it is. That's all it is.
If that's in and it's first-person shooter, is it first person?
Yeah, it's first person.
Oh, I'm so in.
Fly
if you got-
spaceships and use. They were showing videos of it. I don't even know what it's called, but it was a big deal because I guess it's going to be one of the biggest games ever made. Over 1,000 planets, different aliens on every single one, different civilizations on every single one. So kind of explore the whole universe. Sounds pretty cool.
I'm so in. As long as so there's thousands of worlds I get to save.
Yep, whatever you want.
Thousands. Dave.
You know what? There's something about being a superhero I just dig. And I like to have superpowers. I mean, I don't know what it is, but I like to be able to reload.
I just like having where I never run out of the ammo.
I do like that skull where you have, what is that, constant ammo? All right, and the last one is an interesting article. They said, we've been talking about this a lot. I don't know and I think every generation believes this to be true. It's about the truck stops. Truck stops are in decline and truckers are suffering. A lot of the mom and pops have been bought out. We saw some suffering there due to COVID. The good news is that a lot of the truck stops were in use during COVID and had to be used, right, in order to move freight. But they're just talking about, truck stops are important not just for fuel and taking a shower and getting something to eat. They're more than that. They're a place to do your laundry.
Chapels.
They're a place for a chapel. AA meetings. They're a place for some of them have movies. Some of them have TV rooms. Some of them have amenities that are outside that 12 by 8 box that you're in all the entire time. Inside that cab of that truck. It makes it difficult. Some of those amenities are going away, especially some of the mom and pops. They suffer a lot, some of those mom and pop truck stops. And, they take a lot of pride in their stores and to go in, and I love going to those. And I do like, been out there on the road. I did like, to be able to get out of the truck and go inside and sit down and eat.
Yeah, friendly people, have a restaurant.
Yeah, absolutely. And, it's hard to eat at some of these places and eat well.
Yeah.
Right?
Hard,
I mean, if all they got inside is a McDonald's, and I'm not saying anything bad about McDonald's, I'm just saying try to eat that 52 weeks a year out there on the road. It makes it tough, and especially healthy, right? I mean, you're trying to find healthy options for drivers that are, sedentary in what they do. They sit behind a truck hours and hours on end and have a very, very stressful job.
Yep.
And it makes it hard to have healthy, genuine healthy choices to eat out there on the road. Because I've always found, have you not noticed? And I know healthy food just seems a little more expensive.
Yeah, it does. It does.
I don't know if it's you, but it just seems more expensive.
But it's odd. We talk about getting healthier food. Back in the day, a long time ago, all the truck stops had their own restaurants in them. And that was far from healthy food. Most of that was very heavy food laden with
gravies with
gravy
and biscuits. Oh my goodness, no!
But it still gave you a place to get out of your truck, walk in, sit down, relax for a while, and a little banter with the driver sitting around you, or with the waitresses or waiters, whoever it may be. And that's just gone away. Now it's you step up to a counter, order your food, get it in a bag or on a tray.
Yeah, go back out to your truck.
Yeah, and walk away. It's just not near as much fun. And so even if you're trying to eat healthy, that Subway sandwich is probably one of the healthier choices, but I couldn't eat that every day. I mean, it's just...
and I'm just going to... it is hard. And there used to be, in truck stops, believe it or not, there used to be a CDL area that only drivers could sit at if you were a CDL carrier. That way drivers sat next to drivers and could talk. Right, about the road, and felt more comfortable to be, to sit around and chat and discuss stuff like that. You don't know how many times I've had eggs, bacon, and biscuits over on a counter and enjoyed a great conversation with a driver that had been out there, for 30 years.
Yeah, and learned a bunch of stuff from them.
Yeah, how it's not all bad. It was harder back in the real day when you had twin sticks and no power steering.
Popeye arms.
Yeah. You know what? That's great stuff. But what it concerns me a lot is as truck stops are in decline, it makes it more difficult for drivers to have genuine choices, not only in what they eat, but also where to park.
Yeah. You say everybody knows that they're in decline. Everybody knows we need more truck stops, but everybody's not in my backyard. They don't want the trucks around. They don't want the traffic. They don't want the idling. And so seems like they just get pushed out further and further from the deliveries, and it just makes it harder for a driver to make a delivery and then get back out to a truck stop where he can get some good rest.
No, I get it. That's a lot of real estate space when you talk about 300 trucking spaces.
Yeah.
And then a truck stop on top of that with fuel and in and out egresses back onto thoroughfares. You're talking about several acres of land to make sure that not only you have parking, but that you have, and it's not going to be easy to solve.
No.
Up in the Northeast where there is very little real estate available. If you want to create parking or you want to create truck parking, that real estate's expensive.
Yeah, it has to be a return on investment.
Yeah, and you know what? I don't know. Does that become tax abatements? Is that where truck stops get abatements to place truck stops in there so that they can afford to go in there and buy real estate, or do they get? I mean, this is where it becomes difficult.
Yeah. It's where they're going to need some help, like I said, especially up in the Northeast, out west. California would be another place that's really tough getting a good truck stop in the populous areas. They're going to have to figure out something to do something because even with the electric trucks, still have to have a place to park them at the end.
Yeah,
of the day.
I'll tell you, travel plazas work well, and those are government. When Turnpike's contracted to do that, I think that if you're going to build a highway, or if you are a outside investor, which they are now, that build these toll roads, I think you should be required under the rules that you have to build. If you're going to get leased a land to run equipment from one end to the other, then you should build a travel plaza. That's it. We'll make room for it. Figure it out.
Yep.
It's not that's part of the contract.
Yeah, it has to be part of the build-in process. That if you're going to build lanes, you got to build parking, or you got to build.
I mean, you're going to charge anyway.
Yeah.
I mean, you're going to.
You are charging anyway.
Yeah, you are charging anyway. It ought to be part of the contract built in that if you're going to build a toll road and you're going to build it and you're an outside person building a toll road, you're going to charge for tolls to make money on, which they do.
Yep.
You're going to have to build parking and availability for truck drivers because it's a real. I mean, parking has become. People don't understand how important it is.
It's a commodity now.
It is, and you know what? They sell spaces.
Yeah, it's a commodity.
It's a commodity, and because it's real estate. And what's unfair about it is, in a way, is that drivers are forced to pay because they've got to park.
Yep.
I mean, they're under hours of service
right.
mandate, and the law says, well, you can't drive any farther. You need to pull over and you need to park. The side of the road is not safe.
No.
Don't even think for one, please, if it's $10 to park somewhere, pay it, and that can be, believe it or not, boy, that can add up $1,000 a year, right out of your pocketbook, easy. And
One thing I don't know if this is a more recent thing, but I've started to notice, maybe just because I'm paying more attention nowadays, but I see more of those signs that are saying, trucks, no trucks parking here, or on the side of the road.
Yep.
And so I don't know if that's always been that way or if that's more of a recent.
Well, I'll tell you, it's always been around for trucks not to park. If you'll go into like a Kroger, or you'll go into and I'm not calling out Kroger by name, but I'm going into these grocery stores, you'll notice these little islands that are all in the way.
Yep.
They got little trees and all that.
Yep.
Those are designed to restrict truck from
Impede
coming
trucks.
in there.
Oh,
Because you can go
okay.
in there with a car and easily turn.
Yeah.
And then go this way and turn. Those are designed to keep trucks out. Because a driver won't go in there if he's got to run over a few trees.
Yeah.
It just doesn't make sense.
No.
Or run over curbs and damage equipment. It doesn't make sense. So, you used to could go, and you used to could like go to your delivery, or you could go to your shipper, and there were, they allowed you to sleep there. They try not to do that anymore. And not as much as they used to.
Yeah, because I especially since I've started working here, I've started to notice a lot more things, regarding the industry, and that's one thing I've really started to notice a lot in the last month or so is, everywhere I go now, I notice that sign where it'll be like, no trucks, no parking here, no overnight parking.
No overnight
like
parking.
that.
Yeah. And they've got to park somewhere, and
Yeah.
it makes it really tough.
Well, parking at a shipper receiver, that's a double-edged sword because are there facilities there? So you parked up for 10 hours and you have no facilities. And and that kind of, that's why some people don't allow trucks anymore because there were no facilities and some bad actors, ruined it for them.
Well, yeah,
And so-
absolutely. And what choices do they have? They're
absolutely. I'm
limited. Oh wow, I can't believe they actually peed. Okay, seriously?
It had them in the box for 10 hours and yeah.
Look, I'm telling you, it makes it difficult, and there's no easy solution, easy fix.
No.
This is an ongoing problem that's been going on for years. It is but what's scary, genuinely what's scary, is no one's fixing it.
Yeah.
And I'm not saying it's an easy fix. I'm not saying that it's going to be a not expensive fix. But if part of your infrastructure was to build better roads, why wouldn't you want to build them better with amenities for the trucks that run them? Why wouldn't you want to take into account what's going on out there and make them better, safer for everyone involved? I mean, to me, if you want to build better roads and make them safer for people, why don't you start with, I get making the road better, but who's on the road? The drivers are on the road. Make it safer for them to be out there, and you're going to ultimately make it safer for everyone out there.
Yeah. I mean, everybody wants their stuff delivered, and trucks deliver stuff. Trucks deliver everything. Everybody wants that, but nobody wants to put up with the things that go along with it. You know, the parking spaces, trucks idling, truck stops. I mean, and so until they start recognizing that's part of getting our stuff, that's part of the price of getting our stuff, nothing's going to change. You know, heck, Dave, drivers been talking about parking issues for what, 20 years now? Longer? You know, so it's
longer than that. They've been talking about parking issues since they first turned a key, and since the truck first hit the road.
And so, yeah, you're right. Somebody's got to step up. Something's got to change, because it truly isn't. And I know when they do the surveys, you know, what are trucker concerns? I mean, parking is always one of the top ones. And
It absolutely, because it makes it difficult and stressful. Unneeded stress on the driver out there trying to find a way to park a truck.
When their hours are running out, I mean, that's got to be the worst thing in the world. Is your hours are running out, you know you have to get parked to stay compliant, and there's no place around.
Yeah, you know, I'll tell you, we all talk about productivity, and right now a driver loses an hour of his work day on average parking, trying to find a place to park. Wow. So, just for you, Boyd, I'm just saying, if you came to work, here is the difference between your job and a truck driver's job. Okay, number one, you get here, it's going to take you an hour to find a good spot to park before you can come inside. Number two, when you finally do show up for work, your first 2 hours are free. Okay, you don't get paid for those. Okay, and then you can go to work. How's that? Now, so there's 3 hours of your day. Then you get to start your day. That's pretty much how a truck driver is treated out there on the road. That's how wrong it is.
Yeah, that doesn't sound like a fair deal to me.
Doesn't sound fair,
No,
does it?
Not at all.
Yeah, it makes it difficult, and that's one of the reasons why I think this job is a challenge. You know, I think one of the reasons why this job makes it hard to bring in young people, to bring in people to understand what's going on in the industry. There are solutions for those. Pay, make sure you pay the driver, compensate the driver. But I think that falls in line, you know, make sure your rates encompass those problems, those issues, and re-rate if you have problems with that. You know, you want to. It's not all about just the mile and the fuel and the wage.
Well, that's one thing I've noticed too, especially working here. Is, I mean, it's such a grueling, you know, day-to-day job that, I mean, everybody that I've met and everybody that I've seen around here, I mean, they're so passionate with what they're doing. I just feel like there's no way you could do this job and, or at least stick around with it for very long if you're not, you know, if you're not in love with it.
If you didn't love the headache, and you didn't love the stress, and you didn't love getting yelled at or yelling at people, I'm telling you, I mean,
we're sitting waiting for hours. Yeah.
But I will tell you, there are some things about truck driving that are phenomenal.
Yep.
They're the best of the best.
Yeah, let me tell you, the people you meet, the open road, out there.
The things you see, the changes in the seasons. I mean,
oh my God, every day, you know, you can drive, believe it or not, in the spring, you can drive from like the Gulf. And you can drive all the way up to Wisconsin. And as you drive north, you can see the seasons develop. I mean, you can see, doesn't matter, or you can drive, or vice versa, come from the north and go south and in the fall. And you can see the you know, all the trees change. And you can see, I mean, unbelievable world out there in which you can see, and you've never seen it before, and you'll learn just how big and open this country truly is, and how wonderful it is, and if you don't have that opportunity, it is a fantastic time and a great time. I mean, I'll tell you, being out there on the road with some of my, in the best soul searching moments I ever had. Talking to myself and working out my own demons. You know, you're a young man, you got your own set of demons that you got to work out, and as you get older, you got to find ways to work them out. And I'm going to tell you that the open road and truck driving was probably my lifesaver, my saving grace of being out there and working through some of those myself, and doing those in the seat of a truck.
Yeah, those conversations with yourself, a couple arguments with myself. It's like, ooh,
And with the people around you that can't hear you. I've had a few of those.
Yeah.
I've had a few of honest arguments with the people around me and not understanding why and trying to explain to them what they should be doing. Have you ever had one of those?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
What were you thinking? You lay out your
Yeah.
whole case.
Yeah. You spread out your whole case on why they should have, and they never heard a word you said, and some of them were the best arguments you've ever can. And by the way, you aren't truly doing a great job out there driving a truck if somebody hasn't waved with one finger at you today. And did you know that it happens every day?
Getting yelled at's just that's
Well,
how you
and
know you're doing it
getting that you're number one.
right. Yeah.
Yeah, because let me tell you, and as we talk about it, we joke about it. You're in the way.
Yeah.
As a truck,
Always.
you're just in the way. You're in the way. You're on the road. You're just in the way. You're going either too slow or you're over in the hammer lane. And why is he going so fast? You know, why is he going so slow? Why he's just in the way. Why are there so many of them out here? Why won't this guy move over? I mean, they're running side by side. I can't get around them.
Yeah, I experienced that last night. I was taking my little brother to baseball practice, and it's about 15 minutes from my house, and so it's 15 minutes, so it shouldn't have been a big deal to me. But on the way home, there was a truck in the hammer lane, truck in the right lane, just blocking all of 287. Nobody could go by either one. And so I was just sitting there, and I was the first one behind the truck in the hammer lane. I was just praying, just please move over. This is killing me. And eventually they did, but it was just
Yeah, and you know,
pain.
and let me explain something to you. And they are running 500 miles today.
Yep.
If they go 3 miles to pass another truck, it's not a big deal.
Yeah, it's
to them.
nothing.
It's nothing.
Uh-uh.
They got another 497
Yes, sir.
miles
Yeah,
to go.
that's brutal.
I'm not. Their last concern is what you're trying to get
Yeah.
to in what 3 exits.
Yeah, I realized that.
And I think it's okay. Look, we all got to understand what we all are doing out there. Everybody has the same opportunity and the same share to the road. But if we try to truly understand what each are thinking and what each are doing, and we maintain safety, I hope that you were far back enough from
I
the
was.
truck that you could see and react accordingly, because 2 trucks can make a mess.
Yep, and that's my big thing with trucks too. Is back in March, I actually got my windshield chipped by a rock got thrown off a truck, and so I mean I wasn't even falling. I was keeping good distance. It was just out there on Highway 6 and kind of really crappy roads out there, so it just kicked something up in my
Let
window.
me tell you about the really crappy roads to Highway 6 when I ran to Highway 6. It was a
I've heard it
2-lane.
used to be real bad.
It was a 2-lane all the way down.
That's
It was a
brutal.
2-lane all the way down, and that was back in the day when I was 17 and 18, before they made it a split 4-lane. It's a split 4-lane now.
Yeah, no, it's nice. I mean,
But
can
I
move on
tell you, it was a 2-lane run all the way down, and you Hearn and Calvert and all those. That was a tough time. I actually got pulled over running through Hearn, doing about 80.
oh,
in
that's a big
Trans Am.
ticket. That's
in
a big ticket.
And I got pulled over. I pulled out, and I was in my uniform.
Okay.
I got pulled over. I popped out. I saluted the officer, and he goes, "What are you doing, cadet?" And I said, "Sir, I am late for formation." He goes, "What are you?" Sir, I will be AWOL if I am not signed in to the guard shack in about 1 hour, and I am trying not to go on report. And because I do not want to walk bull ring, and he said, "Get back in your car and you slow down, and you will be there in an hour. Just be careful." He did not give me a ticket. He was a good guy, but
yeah, one of my buddies, he got a ticket going, I think 65 through Riesel,
oh yeah,
and
it's 55 through there.
It's 45 now.
Oh yeah,
They dropped
right at
it.
that. Oh yeah, I know where you're talking about. It used to be 55 because it used to be just a 2-lane road through there. Now it's split. Right, one going one way, one going the other way.
Yeah, opposite sides of the town.
Opposite sides of the town now. Yeah.
But he got a ticket. I think it was. I mean, he was going 65 and a 45, so I think he got like a $350 ticket, something like that.
Ouch.
Yeah, that's brutal.
That is brutal. And you know what? Tell him to slow down.
Yeah, he learned. He learned real quick.
Yeah, you don't need many of those. All right, I'll tell you what. We'll be back with Dale in just a second. He's going to go over a little bit of this hot weather in just a second. We'll be back with BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. This segment has been brought to you by Utility ProWear. Utility ProWear manufactures high-quality, ANSI certified, high-visibility apparel for both men and women. Infused with the Teflon fabric protector, Utility ProWear gives you the added benefit of providing a barrier to liquids, dirt, and grime, keeping you cleaner longer, brighter longer, and therefore safer longer. Get your high visibility apparel by going to utilityproware.com. Use the code BCB20 at checkout for an exclusive discount.
Hey, welcome back to BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. You got Double Check Dale here. We're going to talk a little bit of weather, take a break, and come back and talk some safety. The map we currently have up is temperatures. Oranges and reds, the bright colors, those are the hot temperatures. And look, we're at 8 o'clock this morning, and look at the big swath of orange that's already in the 80s, all the way up into Iowa. We're seeing that, and as we just scroll ahead to 2 o'clock this afternoon, you know, we're not projected to hit 100 degrees in Dallas today. But I mean, we got the high 90s all the way from San Jose, California, all along the southern states through Texas, Gulf Coast, Atlantic Coast area, all in the 80s, high 80s, low 90s. Chicago up into the 90 degrees today. Detroit, you know, is going to hit above 90. And then when we go to tomorrow, when we go to tomorrow afternoon, you know, it's much the same, except it is going to be hotter tomorrow, and it seems to be stretching up further north. I mean, Boise, Idaho, 83. Great Falls, Montana is already close to 80 tomorrow afternoon. So the heat is very real out there. You know, the heat stroke, the heat exhaustion, very, very real things. Stay hydrated, you know, and if you have pets along with you, make sure that they have plenty of to drink also, because the heat affects them also. Let's take a look, see if we have any rain or going on right now. Currently, you know, there's a pretty good thunderstorm happening up in Nebraska and into northern Iowa, and then a little bit there coming down out of Canada into Pennsylvania in northern New York. So a little bit of rain going on currently. If we go this afternoon, just not a lot of precipitation. That storm lingers up in Iowa. It goes a little bit north into Minnesota, into Wisconsin a little bit. Then we have some storms out in the Virginia area, Charleston, the Gulf Coast area, or Atlantic Coast area. A little bit of rain going on there this afternoon. You know, look at that early evening hours into about 9 o'clock. Rain starts to stretch a little bit further from that storm in Iowa. It is now stretching back in Oklahoma, through parts of Kansas, just south of Kansas City, goes up through Iowa City and then into northern Illinois. And then this evening, you know, also going to see some more rain down in the Atlanta, Georgia area, the parts of Alabama. You know, if we get into the complete overnight hours, you know, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning, that storm that we're talking about shifts a little bit to the east and to the south. And so now St. Louis area, northeastern Illinois or Missouri, pretty heavy storm there. Chicago, central Chicago, seeing that one that was out in Pennsylvania, that thunderstorm seems to have exploded a little bit and now covers a large portion of Pennsylvania. And part of it looks very severe. We got a red cell in there, so that's where, you know, we'll see high winds associated with that, potential for tornadoes, heavy rains, lots of thunder and lightning, so be aware of that one. And then tomorrow, see if there's any, you know, relief tomorrow morning. You know, 10 o'clock tomorrow morning, just not a lot of precipitation going on. So other than the heat, there is not much going on as far as that goes. Let's take a look at winds. You know, they've seemed a little bit more agreeable than they have been. And currently, you know, we have some stronger winds coming up through central Texas, Oklahoma, Kansas. Nothing that's real major with the high gust at this point. Starting to see a pretty big windy event up in Montana into Wyoming. Of course, Wyoming's always windy, especially around that Elk Mountain area. As we go through the day a little bit, it does intensify through Texas and Oklahoma up through Kansas. And again, that's where those storms are coming in a little bit later this afternoon. But that area of wind up north, you know, look at that up in Montana, North Dakota. The Dakota is really windy, and into Wyoming. So if you're in any of those areas, make sure you're aware of the winds this afternoon. But didn't see any really dangerous gusts out there until, you know, this afternoon. And that's really in the Wyoming, Montana area where you're going to see gusts in the 50-mile area. 50 mile per hour area, so be aware of that. Other than that, you know, it's hot out there. Stay hydrated. With that, let's take a short break.
You're watching BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. BCB Live covers freight. Here we are now at 21% of record freight being rejected. News down in Texas. We're going to talk a little bit about this. We had another $1.5 million seizure. If ever there's a time to do a pre or post trip, it's if you're doing something wrong. Weather, traffic.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Welcome to some traffic and weather with Buckle Up Bob. You can kind of see where the visibility can be compromised a little bit. Again, right where that rain is.
And most importantly, safety.
One of the things that we must do is make sure that safety is the number one thing that we focus on.
Going into an intersection yellow is not the way. That's to clear an intersection, not to enter an intersection.
Tune in weekdays from 7 a.m. to 8 a.m. Central Standard Time. You can watch BCB Live through LinkedIn, YouTube, or Facebook. So what are you waiting for? Subscribe today and follow BCB Live.
This segment has been brought to you by Utility ProWear. Utility ProWear manufactures high-quality, ANSI-certified, high-visibility apparel for both men and women. Infused with the Teflon fabric protector, Utility ProWear affords the wearer durable clothing with a great fit to afford the highest degree of safety. Get your high-visibility apparel by going to utilityproware.com. Use the code BCB20 at checkout for an exclusive discount. All righty, we are back. BCB Live, the safest station in the nation. Drive Safe Dave here along with Double Check Dale. And yes, we do have Boyd over there manning the boards. That's the producer today. Oh, yeah. What?
I just said, oh yeah.
Oh, yeah. Ee-rah, ee-rah, hoorah. All right, so today, let's jump right into safety. Let's jump right into what we're talking about. It is space management. What are we doing today?
You know, space management, you know, space cushions, you know, that area between us and the vehicle head. They are so important in preventing rear-end accidents. Rear-end accidents are one of the most common ones, and they're also usually one of the most severe ones as far as injuries go. You know, we need at least 3 seconds following distance, okay? At least 3 seconds. And, you know, it's just so important that we get it out there. You know, people think we talk about 1 second all the time, but the great following distance really should be 4, 5, 6 seconds. At 65 miles an hour, we should have 6 seconds following distance in a big truck. You know, if we have the right following distance, we do what's important here. We protect lives, and we protect our lives, and we protect the lives of others, and that's what we're trying to do by managing our speed and space.
I'm just gonna jump right in here, because I've seen a lot of videos lately, and I've watched a lot going on. That 3 seconds, that 3 or 4 seconds that you have, that cushion that you have behind the vehicle, that's only good if you're paying attention.
Yeah.
That only works if you're watching 100% of the time. That's only if conditions are at optimal.
Yeah.
That's only if traffic, and every other situation is perfect. That's only if everything else is 100% okay. Yeah. Then anything else in there, it needs to be a greater distance. If you're distracted at all, increase your distance and quit being distracted.
Yeah, it's nighttime. If it's nighttime, increase your distance.
Increase your distance. And let me tell you, it doesn't matter if it's raining, if it's foggy, if it's misting, if the roads are wet, if there's loose gravel, if there's construction, if it's a school zone, if it's heavy traffic, we could go on and on and on with the conditions that will allow you that necessary to increase your following distance. I'm telling you, it is so vital, that area that you control in front of the vehicle. That is your success. That is how you can gauge your success today on the open road. And that is that area right in front of you.
Yep.
All right.
Let's roll a video, and the first one's going to show just how important, if we get the first one is, Boyd.
First video is called, This is what proper distance allows for.
You know, we're going to look at this video. Look at the following distance. Traffic is coming to a stop, and this driver has plenty of space to come to a comfortable stop, slow down. For traffic that's stopped in
I see concrete.
Right. So,
and I see concrete.
And so, I mean, you know, it just so happened that this one showed up in today's topic, and so it just goes to show, reinforce how important that following distance is. And again, you know, if the driver had been distracted, it wouldn't have been enough. But the driver's paying attention, does a great job of slowing down for traffic that has stopped in the hammer lane on a 3-lane interstate, 4-lane interstate.
Yeah, and you know what? I'm telling you right now, this happens all the time. I mean, this lane, we don't know what transpired up here, but everybody hit their brakes. Somebody probably got cut off. There could be something laying in the road. You never know what's going on. We could have a disabled vehicle up here.
Yeah. I mean, and you'll see some fresh black, will look like some fresh black marks. Somebody probably wasn't paying attention, hit the brakes pretty hard, locked them up. But, you know, have to have that following distance. You know, there's so much going on in this video with the 3 lanes of traffic, 2 lanes of merge or exit points. And so the other thing I like about this, the driver doesn't try to change a quick lane change.
No, I like this.
You know,
controls
it,
that
so-
space in front.
Yep.
And let me tell you, there is concrete between you and the other vehicle. Great job. All right, let's next one.
Next video is called "No Matter When or Where, Stop Means Stop."
You know, it looks like probably leaving a residential area. It looks like maybe early morning, late night, doesn't really matter because it doesn't matter.
Yeah, but
where
that's
or
the
when.
one right by my house.
Yeah, I know that.
I don't ever stop there. I don't. That's the one right on my street.
And you look at the time of day, and it's either getting dark or getting light. And so we do that quick roll. What if that car that's coming from the other direction doesn't have his lights on? We see that all the time. We take that quick glance. We don't see him because the lights are off. I mean, we have to stop. We have to take that good look no matter where we're at.
Look, I'm telling you right now, when it's dusk or dawn, when you're in these moments, people are out jogging in these moments because of the heat of the day. They can't be doing it in the heat of the day.
Shouldn't be doing it in the
They
heat of the day.
shouldn't be doing it in the heat of the day, and they're out in these times. And guess what? They're not running around with lights on.
If I'm not wrong, that's the street right outside the outside the office, right?
Yeah, I got you. Yeah, I got you. I'm just saying it. Yeah, I understand it. And you know what? I'm just leaving. I never stop there.
That's right. Hey, never mind that hill right above where I don't have the trees where I don't have a clear line of sight.
And I'm just telling you, Drive Safe Dave stops at this stop
Oh,
sign because I don't want anybody seeing Drive Safe Dave.
Yeah.
Now, I stop behind and then roll forward. I don't want anybody. I don't want to get busted at this stop sign because it is right.
Yeah, nobody's getting the GoPro out on double check Dale going.
No,
Oh, there he
can
goes.
you see? Yeah. Oh, the safety guy. Oh, yeah. Let's bust the safety guy. All right, let's do the next one.
Next video we got is called "Recognize and Correct."
And we talk about following distance, and the driver here starts out at about 0.9 tenths, but he's recognizing he's too close, and then the distance starts to increase. By the end of this video here, I think we're about 1.4. Still need to increase, but it is increasing, and that's what
It's a good reaction.
That's what we need. Take those steps, recognize and correct, and the driver does a great job on that one.
All right, I like it.
Next video we got is called "Too Close and Holding Steady."
You know, and this is just kind of the opposite. I mean, we're too close here, without doubt. You can't get 1,000 out on any place in here, but we're just holding steady.
This is on 45.
Huh?
This is on 45.
Yeah.
Huh?
No,
Oh.
it's on I-20.
Okay. Okay, I got you.
Okay, it's an I-20. But
East Texas.
irrelevant because we're too close.
Uh,
We're too close, and we're holding. I mean, we're not making anybody going any
No, we're
faster.
not. We're not.
We're
We're not.
not getting to where we need to be any faster. We're just doing it less safely. So just back it off a little bit, increase that space, you know, and we're going to get there. And eventually we'll get past. It is what it is.
Absolutely. Just make sure you can control that area, and this is too close. And believe it or not, we need to recognize that. I think that's really the difficulty. We've been doing this we've been doing this a long time. We get comfortable in these close moments, and we can't be. We've got to find these right here. We've got to make them uncomfortable, and that's the reason we show these videos. We want to make them uncomfortable. We want you to recognize what this is and not feel like this is okay.
Yeah, and just because I've done it 100,000 times before doesn't mean this time is all right too.
Yeah, absolutely. All right, next video.
Last video we got for the day is called "Following at One Gains a Little."
Now, here's another one. You know, the following distance is already too close, and instead of backing off, by the end of the video, we're actually a little bit closer than when we started to. So again, it comes back to that recognizing it and then going, hey, I got to take corrective action. I've got to back off a little bit. I got to raise my foot off the pedal and just let myself coast a little bit and get away, create some more space there. Because really,
so here's the hard part, and here's the fallacy, and this is what people think when they see. So watch this video closely. What's coming up on your right?
big truck.
Okay. So my deal is why, and he's closing in quickly on the car that obviously is going slower.
Yep.
And he's closing the gap. What do you think his intention is here?
He's going to try sliding on over.
He's going to try to bust your space. You know, I would already be on the CB. I'd already be like, hey, where are you going? You know, you exiting up here a minute? I'd already be on. But needless to say, he's going to try to get in and squeeze in and try to pass you on the right and try to. I got that feeling. Otherwise, he wouldn't be making this maneuver. Do you agree?
Well, I agree with you 100%.
And so this driver is in a defensive posture to make sure, you know, and closing the gap a little bit so that this guy doesn't feel like it's okay to come over. You know, you don't want to get past. And here's where I want everyone to understand. You won't lose any time even if this guy takes your space. You won't lose any time at all. You won't lose, even though he might be a jerk, and even though he might be doing something that's unsafe, that he's not stealing your space. You've got to be okay with, in this moment, in this time, you've got to be okay with that just a few feet back from this. You're still going to get there, and you're still going to be safe. And I understand that you're trying to pass. I understand you're trying to pass. But you can't fix stupid.
Nope.
You can't fix, I guarantee you, you've all seen it out there. You all know what I'm talking about. You're not ever going to fix those guys.
Yep.
And if you believe that you're the judge, jury, and executioner for all of the bad that goes out in the world, then you're in the wrong business. Your job is to keep yourself safe and those around you safe. And if sometimes that means losing a minute or two, which you probably won't even in this instance because you've got 500 to go today, but it's not okay to try to box people out, squeeze people out, make them not let you by. If they're going to try to squeeze you, if they're going to try to get you out of there, let them go.
Yeah.
Understand that's okay. Make these calls with yourself today. Understand your job is to drive your miles safe today. Not how fast you drive them, not about how quick you get there or how many you put on the road. Your job is to drive them safe today. And I don't care if the guy's trying to squeeze in. I don't care if, I get it. It's frustrating. I'm telling you, I understand what it means to say, hurry up, dude, I gotta go. You don't. You gotta be okay with yourself today. You're not in a hurry behind the wheel of that big truck. We don't pay you to be in a hurry. We pay you to be the opposite. You make money out there on the road with the ideology that you will do everything that you can to be safe and protect everyone around you. And it's important that you get the message. It's important that you understand that I don't pay the other guys to be safe. I don't pay mom running to the grocery store to be safe. I don't pay, what's his name, going to Wendy's to be safe. I don't pay Gary to go into work to be safe. We pay you out there on the road, the professional truck driver like never before. We pay you to drive the miles safer than anybody on the road. And if you're going to earn your check today, and if you want to be honest with yourself today, and you want to make your money right today, then do it the best way you can. Work the best way you can. Understand that you're out there earning your wages today, running it the safest way possible. And if you are a dispatcher, you better understand what that means. And if you are an owner, you better understand what that means. A customer service rep, you better understand what that means. If they're late because they were being safe, thank God. Thank God. And appreciate what they do and understand how difficult it is. It is scary out there. And you got these situations that we watch these videos all the time. Yeah. It is important that you realize how your job mandates safety. And what you do out there does matter. It matters. It matters in the moment. It matters in every situation. It matters in every single thing that you do and you touch. It matters in every mile that you roll. It matters to everybody's life that's around you in that moment. Those people in that car, those people in that pickup, those people in that other truck, those people in that school bus, those people in that camper, those people in the RV, those people out there on the road, those construction workers. Every single body, everybody's life matters. And what you do out there matters to make it safer for everybody. And whatever you can do today, do it a little better. Do it a little safer, right, Dale?
Yep.
Just a little bit today. If you get anything from today, if you get any message from today, it is your responsibility to take care of other people. I know, you know what?
You may not feel like it, but it is.
It is. It's your job. It is a truck driver's job. It is a dispatcher's job. It is a customer service manager's job. It is a broker's job. It is the owner of a trucking company's job. It's everybody that's involved in this industry's job to make this a safe place to work. And if you don't think that's first and foremost, then there's something wrong. Look, I know money comes along with it. You can make money. Don't you know how much more money you will make if everybody is safe on the road today? Do you know how much more money you'll have when the insurance costs are down?
When the doors stay open.
When the doors stay open, insurance costs are down. No tickets, right? Because people aren't pulling unsafe equipment. They're doing it right.
Save some fuel because you've gone a little bit slower.
Saves fuel because you're going slower. You know, and everyone gets home today. There's no dings, dents, smashes, cracks, you know, there's none of those things going on with the equipment. And you know what? Everybody's less stressful. Yeah. I know it is a necessary thing that we do. All right, with that, I'm going to go ahead and close. Dear Heavenly Father, we gather before you today to ask for your grace in all things. Father, help us to realize how important we are in the lives around us. Help us to realize what we need to do today to be better at whatever it is we do, to understand the importance of others and realize that life truly is about others in this moment and in this time. Help us get away from the selfishness that sometimes we create for ourselves and add the importance of the lives that the people we encounter every day. We ask that you help us be nice, kind, and safe. We ask all these things in your name. We pray. Amen. All right, everybody, have a great and wonderful day. This is BCB Live.
The safest station in the nation.
He said it just like that. Bye.